Sefer Devarim, Parshat Ha'azinu, on stability in God. Ha'azinu, the penultimate Parsha of the Torah, means give ear, and consists of a poetic song that God speaks to Moshe on the last day of his life, instructing him in his final teachings to the people. This is known as the Song of Moses. In this song, God is referred to through many metaphors, such as an eagle, a father, and a healer. But numerous times here, God is described as a rock. God is called, for example, the rock whose deeds are perfect, the rock of Israel's support, and the rock who begot you. Why would the Torah use such strange symbolism, likening the creator of the universe to an inanimate object? Avraham ibn Ezra explained, the meaning of the rock is that God, like a rock, is everlasting. Scripture does this because one who speaks cannot compare God's work to anything but God's works, for everything is God's work. Ibn Ezra then showed how in biblical poetry, the rock imagery is often used to show God's support, might, and permanence. He pointed to Psalm 73, which says, "My body and my mind fail, but God is the rock of my heart, my portion forever." For this reason, our learning, practice, and tradition can keep us grounded no matter what is happening or where we are. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov taught, when a person has a heart, place has no relevance whatsoever. On the contrary, he is the place of the world. This is because godliness is in the heart. As it is written in Psalm 73, God is the rock of my heart. In addition to stability in our own lives, the description of God as a rock is said to represent the unwaveringness of God's justice. And being, as the Song of Moses says, begotten by the rock, we are called to emulate that justice. God says in Isaiah chapter 51, "Listen to me, you who pursue justice, you who seek the Lord, look to the rock you were hewn from, to the quarry you were dug from." We see over and over again that a rock is something durable and sustainable, and something that inspires a sense of strength and stability and reliability. Of course, we don't think that God is literally a rock, although there might be sparks of holiness to be elevated from within a rock. But inspired by the way a rock is sturdy and steadfast and solid, we can depend on God, and we can strive to become people who can be depended upon. We can be reminded of what David says in Psalm 18, after being rescued from his enemies. "I adore you, O Lord, my strength, O Lord, my crag, my fortress, my rescuer, my God, my rock, in whom I seek refuge, my shield, my mighty champion, my haven." Even when dealing with death, we use rock symbolism in the tradition of placing rocks on gravestones. One explanation for this practice is that the presence of flowers at the burial site would be fleeting; they quickly die. A rock, however, is a commemoration that, while less pretty, will stand the test of time. As we approach the end of the Torah, we see that Moshe, who is about to die, knows he can no longer be the central channel for Israel's inspiration. God's open miracles will now begin to become more rare. In this era, after journeying through the desert, we are to see God not as giver of plagues, giver of manna, but as the rock around us. As the people prepare to enter the land, foot upon rock, they can not only find God by looking up to the heavens, but by looking down to find rocks below their feet. Rabbi Moshe Cordovero, the 16th century Kabbalist, taught, realize that the Ein Sof, the infinite, exists in each existent. Do not say this is a stone and not God. Rather, all existence is God, and the stone is a thing pervaded by divinity. And so in our time, when we are so much more transient and we leave jobs so much more easily, and divorce rates are higher, and people are often fluid in switching religions, and loyalty feels like a lost virtue, we must ask ourselves, how can we once again become rocks for one another? How can we rebuild our communal and societal trust? How can we recommit to cultivating the virtue of loyalty and dependability? One thing we can do is study the tradition for practices and ethics that will guide us through the chaos of life in a complicated world. Similarly, we can double down on cultivating and nurturing the relationships that are most important to us. And above all, we can look to God and to the people who have been rocks for us, and we can work to become more like them. Shabbat Shalom.